Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Candidly with Coffee.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We back.
We are back.
Yes, we are.
Wow.
What's going on?
What is going on? It is a very gloomy fall vibes day.
Yes, it is. It's one of those couch rotten days, right?
Do you realize that we are Twinkies with the LV beanies?
No.
We both have Louis Vuitton beanies on.
I just grabbed gray because I'm wearing a gray t-shirt, so I wanted to match.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And then my Adidas one is dirty. I worked out in a sweat. I'm not put that back on.
Oh yeah, no. That's so funny though. We're like little Twinkies. But it was
Twinkies.
cold. It's fall vibes.
Yeah. Yep. It is.
Fall vibes.
That's why we got coffee.
Cheers.
This is
Look at you with your festive
tea.
mug.
All right.
We got to plan that so that we don't take a sip at the same time. That's no bueno.
Yeah. We just timed it. We got to time it better.
You have not shaved. This is the first time I think I've ever seen you with the grow out.
I'm seeing if I feel comfortable with it or not. Like
Like
days.
I like it.
I don't want to look old now.
Why? Because there's grays?
Yeah. I still want that youthful look.
No, but I like it though.
Let's see if I get used to it.
Oh man, I forgot to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, but now it's on. God, the amount of notifications that I get constantly is
Annoying.
on my nerves.
Yeah, I bet.
It's on my freaking nerves.
I don't have those set up.
I can't function. I have most of them off, I think, but I
don't have no notifications set. Hell no.
when I come back
It'll make me go crazy.
Line after doing this podcast, whatever, I have so many text messages, so many notifications. I get overwhelmed sometimes and I end up, I'll go into my DMs. I'm sorry, guys. I have to admit this. I'll go into my DMs and hit delete all.
Yeah.
I do. Because I just get stressed. Because that's why I tell my clients, fair warning, I tell my clients, do not send me a DM if you are a paying client because there's no guarantee you're going to get a response.
Yeah, at least you warn them.
I know it's bad.
You know what's funny is you sound like Joe Rogan. He says the same thing. Comes out of his podcast. His are long, 2-3 hours. And he has freaking tons of text messages, then Instagram DMs, and this and that. I don't have the bandwidth to answer to everybody. And then people get mad when he doesn't get back to them in a timely manner. He's, dude, I'm busy. I'm sorry, man. Don't get offended. I'm busy. The guy has a podcast, has a comedy club, works for the UFC. That dude's busy, man.
You know what? One thing I do another thing I cannot stand. I know a lot of people are into this, but group chats.
Oh yeah, me neither. I delete myself quick. I don't want to be part of that.
Silence notifications on group chat. Don't include me in group chats. I hate group chats.
Yeah.
I cannot stand the thing. And then like everyone has to like do the emoji like to express and do. You know how you could do like a heart next to the comment or whatever, and you get a notification where everyone has to heart the comment. It's too much.
I know, right?
It's too much. This is why we have anxiety in this day and age more than ever.
Sensory overload is what I call it. Too much.
It is.
You only got so much bandwidth. That's what people don't understand. Your brain only has so much bandwidth.
You know what? Someone's described it, and I love this description. It's every time something happens, it's an open tab in your brain. It's like too many open tabs.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I got to close the tabs.
Yeah, close the tabs out. That's a good way. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, so you start getting overwhelmed. Wait a minute, I got so many tabs open.
Oh yeah, then I just close the whole browser and be like, oh, I'll figure out what was important, what wasn't.
That's funny. Damn. So that's the way you operate.
That's the way I operate. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed.
Don't DM her, you guys, and don't get offended if she doesn't get back to you.
No, I don't say don't DM me, but just don't get offended if I don't get back to you. I do think that I get to most of them.
Yeah.
I do think I get to most of them, but every once in a while, if I get really behind, I do a delete all. Or if it's more than 99 messages, it goes into a plus 99, like it separates
Wait
them.
a minute, you be having plus?
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah, I would get overwhelmed too. I might have 2 or 3 plus 99. Yeah, I'd be like, oh no, hell no, that's a lot.
Oh yeah, it's very stressful.
Yeah,
it's very stressful.
Damn.
All right, so we fasted.
Good job.
Good job.
You handled it. This is your first one in a very long time, and you did a long one.
I have not fasted in years like that. It wasn't very hard. It was not a struggle, to be honest. It was nice to not have to figure out what I was going to eat on a day that I was busy doing lots of different things.
Yeah. That's the main thing, is stay busy. If we're going to do that, keep yourself busy and moving. Don't stop and ponder it, because your stomach it's going to get hungry. It's going to test you, but You're not going to die.
I don't know. I never really got like super hungry. Like I'm hungrier.
Did you get the nauseous feeling at all? From the
I
hunger?
did.
Okay.
But I
It's
got
normal.
nauseous. No,
You
I
get a
don't.
time.
No, I don't think it was from the hunger. I got the nauseous because I took magnesium because I still wanted to sleep good.
Yeah.
And on a very empty stomach, magnesium didn't sit well.
Oh.
But I actually get hungrier on days that I eat. Because
That's
when
funny.
you fast, your blood, there's no insulin.
Yes. No spike.
There's
You're right.
there's very balanced. That's why people that's why fasting could be good for somebody has a high A1C or
Yeah,
type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
Because it really, like, you're giving your body a break from insulin. It's actually also good for someone who has insulin resistance, because when you give your body a break from something, it reduces the tolerance.
Yes.
So you become insulin sensitive again. So I'm actually less hungry. So what that tells me is my hunger a lot of times does come from, it's blood sugar related. It's blood sugar related, maybe a little insulin resistant. I don't think I'm insulin resistant now, but definitely in the past. And that's why berberine helps me so much.
Hey, be proud of yourself. You didn't crush donuts crazy today. You had your little serving and you were like, I'm good. Your old self would have went for more for seconds. You controlled yourself.
Yeah. So
coming off of a fast.
Yeah. So you brought donuts to loop them in. You brought donuts home, and I had one donut and a half a maple bar. But I'm going to have another donut. I'm going to have another donut and the other half of my maple bar. And that's it for that. And then a cheat meal. But it's very controlled. I don't feel like I really wanted to do this and really document like how, or pay attention to how I feel. Like I don't like the feeling of not feeling in control of my urges, my cravings. And I was a little afraid, okay, is fasting an entire day going to then make me lose my shit on Saturday?
Yeah.
But I don't feel that way at all.
Me
I feel
neither.
extremely controlled, and I just don't feel that way. I wasn't sure, to be honest. I'm always experimenting. I do these things, you guys, to experiment. One thing I did say that I'm not comfortable with, I personally am not comfortable with having a crazy eating day and then correcting that eating day by fasting afterwards. That, to me, in my experience working with clients and stuff, leads to some disordered patterns and behaviors. Don't think it's a good idea for most people. So I personally wouldn't do it. I would never do that, where I try to fast to wash away the sins from previous. Now, but fasting, before my cheat day and having it still a controlled cheat day, but a little higher in calories, because like I said, I do like a flexible calorie tracking where I balance out my calories for the whole week. So I have, in a deficit, I have 10,500 calories a week. So because I didn't eat anything yesterday, I have more calories in my bank account.
Yeah, but can't they combine their Saturday calories and Sunday calories and get it all on Saturday and then just fast Sunday to offset it from Monday?
But I don't behavior. Yes, technically on paper, but behaviorally, what that leads to is it'll be like like when you have a weak moment and then you're like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'll just fast tomorrow.
I see what
and
you're
then
saying.
you start, and then
then it starts.
Sure, initially you have control, but slowly, like now you start using it. Like, oh shoot, I overate today.
Crutch.
Yes, you start using it as a crutch. I've seen it with clients. It always ends bad. It always gets out of control.
I see what you're saying.
And they start using it as a punishment almost. And you're not supposed to do that. It creates disordered relationship and feelings towards food.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful with that. That's why I personally thought, okay, so I'm not a fan of that method, but let me do it in reverse and see how I feel. Now, everybody is different. Somebody might feel out of control the next day and want to go ham. I absolutely do not feel that way. I feel like I feel fine.
No. Even this morning, I felt fine. I was on my way to get donuts. I felt good. Controlled myself. I didn't go crazy. Sometimes I go crazy too, but nah.
Me too. And what did you?
1.5.
What did you weigh?
165.4.
So it's your lowest ever since you were a
7.8%
teenager.
body fat. Yeah. Leanest ever, period. I've never been this lean in my life.
That's crazy.
I know. And I'm almost, 49 years old.
Yeah.
It's insane. Macros.
I know.
Tracking and watching and putting in the work, getting those steps in. Everything. It's all coming together.
Yeah,
Lots
it
of
works.
steps.
Whether regardless, you're in menopause, I'm in menopause,
Yes.
macros still
Yep.
work. It still works.
Yes,
I don't
they
know
do.
what else to tell you guys.
I just read a comment. I came across a page and I was reading a comment, and the chick had a plethora of excuses why she can't lose weight. She says she eats healthy and clean, but her weight keeps going up and she's blaming menopause and this and that. And somebody piped in and said, sweetheart, if you just eat less calories, your body will lose weight.
Right,
She said, no, but sweetheart, there's a law of thermodynamics
right.
that hasn't been debunked yet. It's truth.
It's true. The problem is the
People
menopause
make
side
up
of
energy. They create this fake energy. Like all of a sudden your body gains weight. Holding water is one thing, but it just doesn't start gaining fat and weight. I don't know. Out of thin air. Sorry. No hormone's going to do that I know of.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't because it can't create fat out of nothing. It has to
Yes.
have
Energy
the
source.
the source,
Source,
the
yes.
substance to
Yes.
create the fat,
Exactly.
the fat cells. So anyways, you know what is true though about fat cells is once you have them, so the more fat if you gain a bunch of weight and then you lose weight, the fat cells that you created when you gained weight remain. They just are emptied. The only time they are completely removed is through like surgical procedures like liposuction and stuff. So the fat cells, they'll empty, but they will not, they don't disappear. You know what I mean? You still have them in there.
I wonder if we're ever going to create something medically that can get rid of that.
Liposuction.
Something better than that. That's very invasive.
Very invasive.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Something. I'm sure they will. We're getting smart with medical science.
So I weighed in at 120.5. So that's officially 11 pounds. 11 pounds since July 31st. I would guess that I probably have lost 15 pounds since the end of June. Because it took a month before I had the nerves to step on the scale.
Yeah, you were scared.
So I probably lost 4 pounds before I stepped on the scale. So I was probably up to 135, but documented it's 11 pounds. 11 pounds, and today is exactly 2 months.
2 months.
That's pretty fast.
That is. A lot of people be like, 11 pounds in 2 months, that's it? Man, it's not easy to take weight off.
I also would like to say, for the record,
especially of a frame off of a small woman. It's not like you got excess body weight.
But I would also like to say that when I said I needed to lose 10 pounds, everybody freaked out. Like, you don't need to lose 10. I've lost it and I don't look, you know what I mean? It's like everyone had this assumption that I didn't have 10 pounds to lose, but now I've lost it and I don't look like emaciated or overly thin.
No.
I just look fit.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you, people have it in their head. And when they say these things like, you don't need to lose weight or
right,
you don't know.
Exactly. You don't know. You don't know exactly where it comes off of.
Yeah, clearly I did.
It comes off different parts of the body. Some off the legs, some off the side, some off the waist, some off the face, the arms. You don't just get skinny all of a sudden. People think you get all sucked up. Same thing with me. I'm laying down, but I don't get too skinny. Here we go.
I don't know.
I got muscle. I'm not getting skinny.
Yeah. Anyways, you asked me a question that I thought it was things that make you go earlier this morning because my daughter's boyfriend, his grandfather passed away, and they were wearing black. They went to the services, and you just asked me a question that I thought was so interesting. Like, why do people wear black to funerals?
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure. I think it's different in different cultures, by the way.
Yes.
But I wanted to look it up because I'm like, that is a good question. It dates back to the Roman Empire.
Oh.
When someone would die, that the symbol that you were in a mourning is they would change their white togas for black togas.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it just adopted.
That's when it dated back to the Roman Empire. But then they also said they believe that the Queen Victoria in the UK, she was like a style icon during her reign. And I guess when her husband, Prince Albert, died, she wore black to the funeral. And then she continued to wear black veils for the rest of her life as a symbol of respect and to let people know that she was a widow and mourning.
Oh.
Then it made me think of something. When I was growing up in my culture, my parents' culture, the Portuguese culture, when somebody passed away, if you were a widow or someone very close to you passed away, not only do you wear black for the funeral, you wear black for about a year, at least a year, in mourning and respect for the person who passed away, is to let people know that you are in mourning.
Oh.
Because my mom, when my grandmother died, I remember going with her to the store and she had to buy a lot of black clothes. And she explained to me that she had to wear black for a year.
Oh. Something new you just taught me right here on this podcast. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So I think it's just like a sign of respect, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's changing. I think
Other cultures, I've seen white in other cultures.
yeah, and in a lot of cultures now, the whole tradition is celebration of life.
Yes.
Instead of funerals.
Yes.
I
So-
like that.
Me too. You're going to the next realm, the next level. You completed your mission here. Yes, we're left behind. We're sad. We're going to miss them. But you got to think they completed their journey. They're going on to the next journey.
Yeah.
They graduated. That's how other cultures look at it. I've seen some documentaries on TV and stuff about it.
You know how I try to look at it is whomever passed away, they're good.
They're good.
They're the ones that are good. It's us that are in the pain and the sadness that are left behind.
Yeah, because are we crying that they're in pain? Because they're no longer in pain. Like,
That's the only thing that makes me like be able to even just stomach my mom's death is thinking, okay, she's good. It's me who's hurting. And that's okay. If it's me
course.
who's hurting, I'm
Yes.
okay that I'm hurting.
yes.
She's no longer hurting.
No.
But then I start dwelling on the fact that when she was here, she was hurting. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And then that bothers me.
Yeah. So was my mother. Same thing.
I know. I go down these freaking rabbit holes
Just
sometimes.
life. And they're at peace. They're at
I
peace
know.
now. They completed their journey.
But I found a video and I listened to it the other day and I clipped it into a small clip. It's of her laughing. And then she said, and that's it, Jeanine. She was giving me a recipe when she was in hospice. And she laughed. And then she goes, and that's it, Jeanine. That was the last time she said my name ever.
Wow. Crazy.
And I have it on video.
At least you
Because
got it.
shortly after that, she didn't speak anymore.
Yeah.
But she laughed, and it's when I played it like 10 times yesterday. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy that I have this clip.
I know,
Alyssa
right?
recorded it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What
Alyssa-
recipe was she giving you?
Rice pudding.
Oh, rice pudding.
Yeah. It was so good. It was so good. Okay. Hot coffee topic. We are going to talk about the Golden Bachelor.
Oh, let's talk about them.
Let's talk about it. So we did watch it.
Yes, you made me watch the show with you. It was interesting, though. It was cool. It was interesting. I felt for the guy, man. Like, I felt pain for him.
Me
His story.
too.
I felt gutted for him.
Did you notice that they really wanted to show him putting his hearing aid in? They really made sure that we saw him putting his hearing aid in to make sure we knew how old he was.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I did a little bit of research on why they did the show. So apparently they're trying to revive like primetime television because primetime television is not what it used to be.
No, it's not.
People
at
don't go,
all.
yay, it's Thursday night. Let's watch our show.
No.
Because people are streaming. They're watching shit when they want, how they want, where they want.
Yes.
Not on their televisions in the living room with the family.
Nope.
However, the people that still are doing that are people that are older, the boomers.
Yes.
So people in that age range still watch television.
You're right. You're right.
And so they thought we should do more shows that are geared towards people of this age range. And it's a test
Yes.
to see.
You could think about it. Even you say you hardly watch network TV. You do. You watch a lot of YouTube these
I
days.
know I totally transitioned. I never
Me
thought
too.
it would happen, but I did. But the show, so that's what they did. I even heard that the showrunners for the show researched like the demographic by watching Golden Girls.
Really?
Yeah, to just get hip with the lingo and the things that like people of that age talk about. And
Interesting.
I don't know, it was interesting. But my information on the show, so I liked it. I feel like they kept that chick Kathy because she seems like the catty one. Remember the one who kept making comments?
Yeah. She's a hater for sure.
She's just
100%.
she's
You
a
can tell.
what do you call her in Spanish? What would you call one of those? What are they called? Machismo. What are they?
Machismos. No.
No,
hold on.
chismosa.
Chismosa, yeah. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Just blah, 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 blah.
You're
blah,
supposed
blah,
to
blah,
figure it out,
I
not
know.
me.
Chismosa. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
that's
blah.
what she seems like.
Yeah.
I will say I knew that he had an instant connection with the woman he picked for the first impression rose.
Oh, yeah.
I called that.
Well,
They
good.
were really looking deep into each other's eyes. The interesting thing about this versus, because I've watched many seasons of The Bachelor, what I felt that's interesting is you can tell these women have depth because they're older. Think about it. they have gone through some shit.
Oh, yes. They've seen some shit.
Divorce.
Yes.
Death of a husband.
Yes.
Their children, like sickness.
Yes.
You could see they're deep. And I think a lot of that like emotion is going to come out. So I think it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be really good.
Oh, yeah.
But I was a little bit turned off by how many kisses this guy's going to. He's just going to kiss all of them. I don't know. It just felt a little like I'm watching my dad or
He
something.
probably doesn't know any better. He's just new to this. He's new to the game.
Like,
kinda.
dang, he was already kissing multiple women already.
Yeah, he's getting excited. He's never been in this position in his life.
I don't know. I felt awkward. I just felt awkward. Like I was watching Love is Blind also, and there was a lot of kissing it's just so uncomfortable, like hearing people kiss like constantly. The whole episode was the couples kissing. It was freaking annoying.
Man.
Yeah, but Golden Bachelor, I liked it though. So my review on it, I think it's going to be good. I do think they're going to trump up some drama for sure, just to make it interesting.
Of course.
I think that's with The Bachelor. If you follow like previous seasons and stuff, they do keep some people as like production picks. They're production picks specifically because they need a certain cast.
Personality types
They
in there
need
to stir the pot.
Right.
There's always that one or two in there to stir the pot.
You have to, or the
Yes.
show would be boring. If
Yeah,
they were
you're
all
right.
sweet and knitting. I think that the Jimmy Kimmel thing, so if those of you didn't watch, they had an 84-year-old woman who was like cracking jokes and she fell asleep. She was Jimmy Kimmel's aunt, and I think that was a plant. Like that was a skit, right?
Yes, I think so. Because
For entertainment.
They went and they checked on her. She fell asleep during the whole thing.
But one thing I did notice, and they did point it out, but I have heard this before about Bachelor shows, is those rose ceremonies are all-night ceremonies. And they did not do the rose ceremony until the morning.
Damn, how the hell they stay awake?
Those women were up all night long.
I would be suffering.
I would be in trouble. I'd be like, screw this, I'm out.
I'm waking up at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? How the hell you stay up all night? Like,
Yeah.
yo, you're gonna give me jack
If you think about it, there's 25 women, and if he's got to talk to at least every one of them for at least 15 to 30 minutes per woman, that's hours.
Dude, you're right.
That's
it's
hours and
exhausting.
hours and
I
hours.
wouldn't want to be in this position. That's exhausting.
Yeah,
Different personality types, cattiness. Oh man.
that's tough.
You better not go on me soon, babe. Don't put me in that position.
I know when they were talking about being widowed and stuff, I'm like, oh man, I do not want to be. How do we do this? I did read
You know how we do this? Exactly what we're doing right now. What are we doing right now?
Yeah, what I was going to say is I saw in People magazine, there was a couple, they're 91 years old, both of them, they were holding hands in the hospital.
I saw that.
Both in their hospital beds.
Cute.
And they were both in the hospital together. One died and the other one died a week later. And I'm like, that's perfect. They both died at 91. They had full lives.
Yes.
And they died pretty close together.
Yes.
They didn't have to live without each other.
No. Now they're happy together again. See?
Yeah,
Their spirits are connected again.
that is,
That's like a fairy tale story. It doesn't happen very often.
yeah, that's heart-wrenching is that there's one, if you're in a marriage, one of you goes before the other.
I know. And
Unless
there's
you
there's
pass
no
away
guarantee.
together. Awful.
I'm pretty sure I'll go before you though.
Why you always say that, babe, but I think you jinx me when you say that.
No.
Why do you say that? What makes you say that?
I don't know. I'm older.
You're a year older.
I have had blood pressure. I lost a cousin to a stroke at 40.
But
Very
you
young.
have
I have that chasing me too. But I just got to stay healthy. But yeah.
Yeah, my goal is to
We
stay healthy.
We both just got to stay healthy. That's it. No choice. There's no choice in the matter but stay healthy. We want to be together a long time on this earth. It's the only way.
I know, because the thought of it, when he told his story about his wife,
43 years.
The pain is palpable.
Yeah. 43 years. He doesn't look like he wants to replace her, but he wants to move on with his life. He's still here. He's youthful.
I know.
So it's tough. It's tough.
It's hard because it's like it's been 6 years, so
Yeah.
he's ready for a companion. I could see that. He's still pretty young. I would think, yeah, you need a companion.
Yeah. If he stays fit, works out, watches what he eats, he could go live another 20 plus years.
Yeah.
You don't have to set limits.
All right, moving on to the hold my coffee topic. All right, so hold my coffee is somebody made a comment on my video about what are you feeding your family if you can't eat what they're eating?
Uh-huh.
Someone made a comment. So April Dawn 396 says, I don't know if you've never met a child that only will eat 3 or 4 certain foods and they refuse to eat anything else. That would be hard for some people. But so here's my take on that. So the conversation was about having to track macros and how am I supposed to feed my family and still track my macros. Yes, I had a child who's very picky. My son, very picky. He only liked like chicken nuggets, chocolate chip waffles, like very few things.
Simple to like you.
Rice.
So
in that
noodles.
situation, there's still a solution because obviously then you're not going to eat what they're eating anyway because they're eating the kid food, the chicken nuggets, the cheese pizza, So yes,
you didn't eat that stuff, did you?
I didn't eat what I didn't eat what he ate because he had like that palate, that kid's palate. So yes, to answer your question, I do understand what you're saying, but then there's still a solution for that because you still won't be eating what they're eating. And it's even easier because then you can eat whatever else you want and then you can track it.
Why do people feel like they're pigeonholed to eat a certain way and they have to eat what everyone else is eating?
I just
you eat your way, I eat my way. We don't eat together. Your son eats his way, Alyssa eats her way. None of us eat the same.
Okay, here's my thing. My thing is do you want to state your problems or do you want a solution?
Hello.
Because I think there's 2 classes of people. There's people who just want to have problems.
Yes.
And there's other people who just want to focus on the solutions to their problems.
Yes.
I want to be in that group, the solutions.
I know, because the other ones are the people who complain about their weight or they don't feel good or this or that, but they don't want to do nothing about it. And then you tell them if you do this, that, and they always have a but or rebuttal. Listen, put the fucking fork down and calm down in your eating. How about that? That's it. How much simpler do you want it? You want to be pampered and you want 100 reasons why you're messing up on your diet or eating. It's all on you. You got to be accountable to yourself.
I'm accountable. I know exactly why I put on that menopause weight.
Why did you put it?
I was doing like what I caught myself doing in that vlog the other day. Picking a lot, starting my cheat days early, not moving as much. I was scaling back on my workouts because my bladder, skipping out on steps. I was drinking alcohol. What did I do? I gave up alcohol. What did the alcohol do? The alcohol made me eat more when I was under the influence, and it was empty calories. Those are all the things I've done.
Luckily, we made a pact to stop eating chips when we're out because we were smashing chips a lot. That's a lot of empty calories we didn't track.
So I knew it wasn't the hormones or any of that. Yes, ultimately, yes, those things led me to have the cravings and all of that. I get that and I relate to that. But at the end of the day, it still was food that entered my body of my own choosing. Nobody held me down and shoved the food in my mouth. I was trying to outrun the scale and feel like, oh, maybe I didn't do that much damage. My jeans still fit. Well, the jeans still fit until they didn't.
And that's when you knew you had a problem. Houston, you're like, Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I felt it. Like every Monday I would wake up going, okay, this week's got to be a better week because this weekend I know I pushed it a little bit too far. And I felt that every week. But then I was in a bad mood and then I was leaking and then.
Yeah. And then on top of other things, you have personal things going on in your life as well on top of all that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But what did you do to switch it? What did you do?
I just decided to be really accountable. Not only was I accountable to myself, I went public with it. You know how hard that is as a nutrition coach? I'm on here twice a week after week preaching.
But how many coaches do that? How many? We'll go online and go look. 0. People they don't hold themselves accountable. Or they post old pictures of themselves.
You know what people will do? They will go, in hindsight, they will, like, maybe now would be the time I'd be telling you guys, I have a little confession. I had gained weight and now I lost it. But usually they don't tell you in the thick of it. Like I came out in the thick of it and said, I stepped on the scale. It's not pretty. I got to do something about it.
Yeah.
I just laid it out there. And honestly, that's what helped me because I just took accountability for it.
Yeah. And also you took it on the chin. A lot of women, even men, but a lot of women don't fess up to their shit and don't take it on the chin. They'll give you 100 reasons why that pic is edited, but they won't take it on the chin and be accountable. Just saying, y'all.
Yeah. All right, moving on to comment corner.
Comment corner.
All right. This one comes to us by Inspired by Christ 3877. She says, can you do a video on how to attack certain body fat areas? I am higher on the scale. I am at the higher scale of the healthy BMI for my height, but can still grab some fat. Thanks for your wisdom. Okay. I responded to her, and I think, of course, she didn't like the response. I don't like the response either. I wish this weren't true, but you cannot spot reduce fat.
You cannot spot reduce fat.
You just can't. And so unfortunately, what that means is if you have a certain stubborn area, you have to keep going and losing body fat until that is gone. The only other solution is, because a lot of people will say, then I'll be too skinny. I'll have to get too thin or skinny in order to get that one stubborn area off. The only other solution would be surgical.
Yeah.
So I will say, that is probably the only time that something like these liposculpting or like liposuction type procedures are beneficial. It's for people who do it not for weight loss. They do it for sculpting and precision type stuff. So maybe genetically, you just seem to hold on to a little bit of body fat somewhere in one particular area, say your arms, but you feel good everywhere else. You like the way your body looks and feels, but you just don't like your arms. Then that would be you'd be a candidate at that point for a surgical procedure, or just accept your arms if you don't want to get thinner. But the truth is that you can't spot reduce fat. So please run for the hills. If you are following any Instagram accounts or any influencers
or trainers
that
coaches
are telling you, do this exercise for back fat, do this exercise for chicken wings.
Wrong.
I don't know where they got their certifications, because it's one of the first things you learn. It just doesn't work that way. If you want to know where the body fat's going to come off of, look at your mother, your sisters, your grandmother's genetics. It's just genetically more people are predisposed to having fat in certain areas. And also it depends on where you're at reproductively. So if you are still in your childbearing ages, fat it stays more in the lower part of your body. And then as your estrogen and progesterone drops, the fat accumulates more in your midsection. So it's not only genetic, but it's also based on where you are at. Are you in menopause? Are you in your peak reproductive era? Or are you an estrogen dominant person? Those are the people that are going to be like pear-shaped, very bottom heavy. So
estrogen
your
dominant.
hormones do impact where weight goes and comes off of as well.
Wow. Interesting. Lot to learn.
Yeah. So estrogen, it's all based on like your ability to procreate and be attractive to the opposite sex.
Isn't that crazy? We saw something on that, remember?
Oh yeah. I've done a lot of reading on it.
Yeah.
It's all based on, so when you are men, look at women, like chemically, they see a woman that has a high waist to hip ratio, and their hormones are telling them that woman is someone who can have my babies.
Yeah.
She is a woman. That's how you know it's a woman.
Yeah.
And she is someone who is in reproductive years. When we are in menopause and we put on weight, we put it on in the midsection, our waist to hip ratio goes away. We are no longer, someone will not want to procreate with us. I'm not trying to be, I don't know. I don't want to be insensitive.
Yeah,
but this is literally.
Don't take her word for it. Go do your own homework yourself like she did. But we saw shows and stuff on this.
It's scientific. Like it's scientific fact that's been proven. It's how we know, like it's how people are attracted to each other that are procreating. Don't you ever wonder how is it possible sometimes when it's so difficult to get pregnant for some people, but some people, they have sex one time and they're pregnant?
I know.
Like it's because they were attracted to each other to have sex that day because she was fertile. The body is giving off the pheromones and the chemical reactions and all of that stuff. The right lubrication is happening because the body knows it's fertile. And so that's why, like naturally, it's just like animals. How do animals know when they're in heat? And it's all...
They do. And they have their own like calls and everything, certain mating calls. Joe Rogan talks about that certain deer season. He knows when it's mating season because there's certain noises they make.
It's just crazy. So it's all based on all of that too. But back to we went on a tangent.
Yeah,
but you can't spot reduce fat.
No.
And I'm sorry if that's bad news, but it is. It's
Yeah.
frustrating. I can tell you though, as a menopause weight gainer now, I've never gained so much weight in my midsection. All of that weight came off
Yeah.
my midsection, but not externally. I didn't gain the weight subcutaneously. It wasn't that fat, squishy fat. It was the internal fat.
Which is worse.
My whole body, my whole organs, everything was pushed forward. And now I feel just so flat, like everything is back where it belongs. It's different than I've gained before, for sure. Very different type of weight.
What an experience. It's good you're so in tune with your body too.
And the reason for that is because in menopause, when your progesterone levels are down, when you put on weight and your progesterone and estrogen is down, the weight goes to the midsection. That's where it goes.
Wow.
Yeah.
This girl's teaching me science over here on the podcast about women's hormones. And look what happens to us too. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. My testosterone levels came back low. I'm pretty impressed that I'm able to accomplish what I've accomplished with low levels. Could you imagine me with normal levels? Which is crazy. And I tell you, it's fucked up that we get that men, our testosterone goes down.
25-year-old, what's their testosterone? If yours was 380, what's like a 25-year-old's testosterone?
So a normal for my age range is 500 to 899, they say. So let's slash that in half. They're probably like 1,500, 10,000 plus or more.
Wow.
I wish I knew. Because the 25, that's when I was at my strongest, my heaviest bench, 405. I was a monster in the gym.
We should have Tyler go get his results so we can see. Just see what his is because he's 26.
Dude, he should know. He should know. Why not? A lot of young guys don't get their levels tested, but he should know. Just to know.
Yeah, you should know.
Why not? Because he might be even low for his age. That's
all
interesting.
Right, moving on. Let's see. Oh, I don't know how to say this name. Anik Duport 185. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but it is on the screen. She says, you guys, I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate your podcast. You are definitely a major part of my success. Thank you. Thank you. You are part of our success.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly.
If you are listening, you are a part of our success.
Yes.
And we greatly appreciate
Yes, we
it. The next comment is Taylor May 1985. And she says, your podcast especially and vlogs as well has really helped me. I've been at a plateau for probably a couple months. I felt so defeated and was trying hard not to give up, but I didn't know what to do to shake things up. And I found you guys a few weeks ago. It boosted my confidence and has given me great advice on things to change. And I just want to say thank you so much for sharing. It's working. You do not know how much help you actually are being by sharing your knowledge. You make everything so realistic, doable, and I really appreciate it. Thanks from the bottom of my heart. Wow.
All you got to do is, I keep saying, flip that switch, man.
Yeah.
Everybody has it inside of them. So flip that switch, you guys.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. That's why we do what we do. Honestly.
Yeah. We try to just motivate what we can and inspire you guys. Like, hey, wake up. It's not too late. Trust me. Don't tap out. Don't believe that. Don't believe I'm this age and that's just the way it is. No, that's a lie. We're living proof of it. I'm coming 49 in January. You're 48.
Yeah, I think what I really want to hammer home is don't be that person that just focuses on all of your problems, limitations, roadblocks.
Yes.
Focus on solutions. And we've talked about that statement before. We've said this, but it needs to be repeated because that's what I see as the problem. People just focus on they just state the problem.
Always.
It's okay to acknowledge the problem, but then your focus and time spent should be not dwelling on the problem, but should be on, okay, now how do we fix this?
Exactly.
What are the solutions?
Yep.
Great rewards don't come without sacrifice. So if you're not willing to make sacrifices or whatever, then sorry.
Exactly.
But you do have to think of solutions to your problems. We all have to remind ourselves, and trust me, we're not sitting over here like perfect.
No.
But I do that to myself too in everyday life on other things. That's okay. I have this problem. How do I fix it?
Yeah.
How do I get around it? What do I need to do? What are the solutions to my problem? And then guess what? You'll start solving your problems and you can start checking boxes and all of a sudden you're moving, you're going somewhere.
And don't do too many things at once. That's what you always say. Tackle one thing at a time. Get that, onto the next. Get that, onto the next.
All right. And the next comment comes to us from Shannon Taylor 8533. And she says, you and Mike are the best. I have a question for you. Can you talk about your 100-pound weight loss maintenance over the years and your personal journey? Thank you. I really sat on that question because I wanted to really recall and think about so that I can answer this really accurately and honestly, like how I lost that weight and how did I maintain it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting
Yeah,
because
you never put it back on.
No, and I never really talk about that. And so I thought, wow, you know what? I talk about losing it, but I don't really go into how I maintained the weight loss. But I do want to go into, because as I was recalling how this all went down, I did have a memory and I want to make sure I share it and be transparent about it. Okay. So my personal weight loss journey was, I was 22, almost 23 years old. So I had Tyler already. And not only did I not lose the pregnancy weight, I had lost some weight initially when I had him. And then I started to put on weight again. Oh, okay. So I didn't really start my journey until he was a year and 4 months old. And it was on January 1st. It was a New Year's resolution of mine. I was just miserable.
Yeah.
And I had read like in a magazine, 1,200 calories a day. That's what you need to do to lose weight. I was like probably 200 pounds at the time.
Damn.
And I just thought 1,200 calories. Now, obviously now knowing what I know, I didn't have a lot of knowledge. So knowing what I know, that was really low.
Yeah. You're a young kid. You're a baby yourself.
Yeah. That was
23.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a baby
that
yourself.
Was really low.
That is low.
But I did have a cheat day every Friday.
What that consist of?
I always Cheetos.
Cheetos?
I loved Cheetos. I was like a Cheeto.
Hot or cheese?
No, regular Cheetos.
Oh, regular Cheetos.
A big grab bag of Cheetos.
Big grabs. I remember those.
I would always have it ready to go. So I always had Cheetos and then just whatever, like fast food. I was into fast food back then. So I'm still into fast food.
Yeah, who you kidding over where? I was like, hold up. Hold up. I'm about to call your ass out. We had McDonald's not too long ago.
I know.
We're not going to ever change. That's like kidding us. Come on, we grew up on it.
Okay, whatever. So, but I liked fast food a lot back then too.
Yes.
Anyway, so I probably had McDonald's or whatever. I had a full blown cheat day. So I've always had a weekly cheat day. That's probably why like I can never get away from that. Because it's something that you do that long is so ingrained in you.
Right.
And we're talking like 25 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So I did have that. And then I walked an hour every single day. So on the work day, I walked an hour at lunch and then I would eat at my desk. And then on weekends, I would take Tyler to the mall, put him in the stroller, and I'd walk around Oak Ridge Mall because it was all one level. And I would just walk around.
Dude, that's smooth.
So that's what I did.
Who told you to walk? Just instinct? You just knew to move?
I knew that I needed to exercise, but the thought of exercising scared me. I had no idea how to exercise or knew nothing about it.
So let's pause there. So you walked, you got the 100 pounds off just by walking. Uh-huh. What finally got you unscared to say, I'm going to join a gym and probably start?
That was years later.
How many years later? I'm just curious. We'll flip the switch for you.
I joined the gym you should know, Adam is the one who signed me up. It was 2007. Hey, my boy,
my Pamp Adam. That's when I started working there. I started June 2007.
And I signed up in August of 2007. So literally
that's crazy.
A couple months later, we never knew, for the record, although rumors may be out there that like we knew each other.
No.
We never, ever said a single solitary word to each other.
Not a damn word for years, huh?
Years.
Not one word.
No, I was separated. Let's let the record state.
Yes.
As I feel like there's always been like rumblings. Oh, well, you worked there for many years. I was there. I would go there by myself. We must have known each other, but we did not.
No. It's better. You didn't want to know me back then. I was a fool. I was a wild animal.
Anyways, but yeah, that was in 2007. But back to the question, how did I maintain that weight loss? But I wanted to think, I did think about, okay, 1,200 calories was really low. How did I do that?
Yeah.
One thing I do remember is I ate the same thing every day. So again, old habits die hard. I'm very much like that now. Like I would eat the same thing for a month at a time before I would switch it up because it was already calculated out and I didn't want to have to.
Oh, you don't have to mess with it. You already knew. You knew that for sure this is 1,200 calories and this is good from here to here.
But there's another thing that I did that helped me and I need to be honest about it. Do you remember Metabolife?
Of course. Who doesn't of that era? Maybe the young kids don't, but that was huge.
So I took Metabolife and it suppressed my appetite. Because I had a big appetite back then too. So if you guys don't know, Metabolife was a fat burner back then and it had ephedra in it.
Yes.
Ephedra has now and years ago was outlawed. It's illegal because it was giving people heart attacks.
Yeah, strong.
but it helped me to lose the weight. And not only did I curb my appetite, but when I found out, did I ever tell you this?
No.
When I found out that it was about to be pulled from the shelves, I had this grand idea.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that story. That was smart.
I bought as many bottles as I could afford. And I became like the Metabolife girl. Like people knew that I had a stock of the good Metabolife, and
You
they
upped
would
the price tag, I hope.
Oh, babe, I like tripled the price. I think I paid $30 a bottle, and I was selling it for $100 a bottle.
Oh my God. I wish I would have had any inkling. I would have done the same thing you did.
But I bought it legally. So I bought it before, because you had noticed that it was going to be, a certain date.
Then it off the shelf? Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought it legally, FYI, and then I sold it. And I remember I became, at my job at the time, I worked at ADP, was a payroll company. I was known as like the Metabolife girl. There's probably still people out there. Who knows? Probably someone listening to the show right now that goes, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
Laugh, so you were the girl. I remember.
Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
So that is what I did to suppress my appetite. So that's the truth. And I needed help back then. I need help now.
And now you do berberine.
Now I use berberine.
That's okay. Hey, at least you're honest about it, because what do I keep saying, man? Every little, whatever help you can get that's not bad for you, why not? Why not get that little assistance?
But I didn't take it forever. I took it until I lost the weight, and that was it. Now, I maintained my weight loss, but guess what? And this is what I've told you guys over and over again. I maintained my weight loss by what? Doing the exact same freaking thing.
Yeah.
Counting my calories. I never stopped counting my calories.
Yeah.
I just bumped them up. That's all I did. So I bumped them up, and then I monitored my weight. I weighed myself every day. And if things started to creep up, I would pull back. Like, oh, I'm getting too loose. I'm probably getting too snacky.
Yeah.
Usually like once a year, I would have to go on. Back then, I didn't call it a cut. I would just call it a diet. But I would go on a diet once a year, because usually after the holidays, I would put on some weight during the holidays because I would get loose.
Yes.
Or after a vacation. So once or twice a year, I would put myself on a little diet where I would go back to what I knew, 1,200 calories. And I'll put some pictures up of when I was pretty heavy. The picture up that's up right now, that's right about when I started, because this was Christmas before I started my New Year's resolution. And there's not a lot of pictures, so I don't have a whole lot to share, but that's that.
You hid from the camera.
Yeah, the other one, this one up here, this was Halloween. So this was like 3 months before I started my journey. As you could tell, I was pretty large. And then there's the only picture that actually shows like part of my body. But this picture, I was already on my way down. I was already losing. I remember actually feeling pretty good in those overalls.
Wow. How much did you lose?
I don't remember, but I felt good because I probably lost 20 pounds or something already.
Damn.
But I do want to point out that the things I did not know back then were a big detriment to me. So I didn't know about eating protein, and I didn't know about lifting weights. So yes, I did get very thin, but I looked thin and frail.
I remember you thin at the gym.
I have very few pictures of this also, because they're probably in an attic somewhere. This is before digital cameras. But I do have a picture up on the screen. I was probably 100 pounds there. I remember the jeans I was wearing in this picture. This was a Vegas trip. Were size 12 little girls department jeans.
Wow.
That's how thin I was. And
you were falling out of your pants.
Not only was I really thin and frail, I was sick all the time. I would get sick all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I was in fact, I got like they thought I had like lupus at one point. I had this anti-inflammatory, this inflammation in my body. I was not a healthy person.
Being skinny.
And it's because.
What do you think it was?
Nutrient deficiency.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
For one, I was probably not eating enough fats because I was counting calories and trying to keep calories low. So I was probably going for everything fat-free.
Yeah.
With guess what happens when you don't eat fats? You don't absorb nutrients. Even if you are eating nutritious things, you will not absorb them unless you are taking in a minimum amount of fats. 20% of your calories should come from fat. Oh. It's very easy to do, but not if you're eating fat-free. So my hair was really thin. I was frail looking. I had no muscle tone, but I did maintain that for a long time. And then, like you said, so this was where I lost the weight by 1999, like 2000. And then it wasn't until 7 years later that I got into working out. I started to work out, but I still was not comfortable lifting weights. And I still didn't eat protein.
No. I always saw you on the same cardio machine when I came into the gym.
The first time I started lifting weights was with you.
No shit. No, I saw you with your son a few times.
But I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Oh, you didn't know. You were just pretending?
I was on the elliptical mostly with Tyler.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I didn't actually start lifting weights. And then I remember after a few months with you, I could see like a little muscle tone in my arms.
Yeah, because I didn't want you doing cardio. I wanted you to just lift because you're already thin. And then I corrected your posture. You had bad posture. Like you can see in the picture like this. Like, hi, my name's Jeanine and I'm skinny and weak. I'm joking. I'm just messing with you.
That's so mean. Do you know what he said to me the other day? I'm going to put you on blast. He said to me, let the record show I fell in love with you like that. I was like, what is that supposed to mean?
What?
Because when I was all skinny and whatever.
Oh, no, you're blonde. You had a different look. I was just joking. I go, but you loved, and I said, I got to let the record show you love me through thick and thin too because I've been a big boy.
Literally.
I turned into a beast.
Thick and thin.
Ooh. You want to see a picture? She'll put it up for you guys.
Oh, they know. Then we've... Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, so the moral of the story is you're going to maintain the weight loss how you lost it to begin with. And I think that's the mistake a lot of people make.
They do. They go, you got to go back to the drawing board.
Because we
got you to the race the first time. So I'll get you there again.
If you're doing unsustainable things, you're not going to be able to sustain your results. It just won't happen. And even though my things that I were doing weren't the healthiest, it was all I knew at the time. Listen, you got no excuses now. Because if you're listening to this podcast, you have enough information.
Way more than enough. We're going into 2024. You got the internet. You can go become a trainer online if you want. You got lots. You can reach out to us.
Now I did. So I maintained my weight loss all the way up until when? Until I started partying with this guy. Then I started to creep up.
That's true.
Because of the alcohol.
We did a lot of courting and we were drinking, partying, and then eating out after the club like dummies.
Eating out and alcohol started to creep up. So I crept up for sure. And then we both crept up together. And then obviously,
I kept creeping up. You want to pull back like, I had enough of this.
Yeah.
Me, I kept going.
Because I had I'm like, no way. I've stayed thin my whole life, like all these years, and I'm letting it go now. What the heck? No.
You're good at that.
Yeah. So even now, look. That's the key to long-term weight loss maintenance is monitoring it and pulling back.
And don't be afraid of the scale, you guys. Make it your best friend.
Yeah, and that's one thing I did do a lot of is I weighed myself a lot. It was not always in the healthiest way. I'm not going to pretend that when I lost that weight, it was always in the healthiest way. Some days I was really hungry and I remember I would just drink Diet Coke. I would just like drink. Because I didn't want to eat. And I remember, and I'm talking about years ago, I remember there was a time where my scale broke and I was like, oh my God, my scale broke. So I didn't have a scale. And this is back before Amazon days where you could quickly order one. I didn't have a scale for a couple weeks. And I remember I got paranoid that I couldn't weigh myself. So I really pulled back on my eating even more because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to gain weight. I was so scared to get fat again. I'm sorry if it's triggering you, but this is the truth. Okay. I'm just trying to be honest.
Yeah, it's good.
When I got my scale and stepped on it, I was shocked. I was 98 pounds.
How'd that make you feel?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, be honest.
I was happy.
Hey, that's like, you probably are like, holy moly, how did I come? And you already had two kids.
No. Did I have it? No, I was 98 pounds. This was shortly before I conceived Alyssa.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was happy. I wish I could say, oh no, I was so upset because I was getting a little too thin. I'm not, I would be lying. I was happy. And in my head, I go, well, everyone says, Jeanine, you're too skinny. But I'm like, I'd rather be too skinny than too fat.
Good.
And I'm not saying it was the right way to feel. I'm not saying that I didn't develop some disordered patterns at that time. I have since fully come out of that and corrected those things. And now I look at things so differently. I look at them from a health perspective and how my body feels and my machine and feeling good. It's not just about looking good or it's not about a number on the scale anymore.
No.
But I just want to be honest and say at that time it was. And I was happily 98 pounds. And then what happened is I got pregnant with Alyssa. And so then I gained 40 pounds with her, a healthy amount of weight. So I just was careful while I was pregnant. Yeah. So I gained 40 pounds with her. I was 140 pounds when I delivered. And then I lost it immediately. I went right back to counting calories. That's what I did. And I think that's why when I say, guys, I can track a macro, I can figure out how many calories is in a plate. That's because I've been doing this shit for 25 25,
You've
26
been doing longer
years.
than me. I
Yeah.
haven't started counting calories. Really, the only really time I really started counting calories when I learned keto.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember how I counted.
You didn't. I did it for you.
Yeah, you calculated. Now I do my own with the macros.
Thank God you do
And
it.
I've mastered it for me.
Anyways, guys, so that is my story. Hopefully you can learn from it. What I want you to get from that story is this. You're going to maintain your weight loss, how you lost it. So if you're doing crazy, not healthy, non-sustainable methods right now, it's going to be very difficult to maintain your results.
It's going to backfire.
You need to shift.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I want you to check in with yourself and say, what I'm doing right now, is this something I can sustain long-term? Is this lifestyle changes? And your answer should be yes. Yes, you're going to have to lose weight again. It's going to creep up again because that's life, right? Vacations, holidays, just keep a close eye on it, monitor things. And just like I did years ago, if things start to creep up, pull back in the way that you know how, in the healthier way, not the metabolife crazy ways I did back then.
Yeah, crazy methods. Fast for 5 days in a row.
I didn't fast for 5 days in a row.
I know, I'm just making joke. I'm poking fun.
Yeah, but you say that, people are going to believe it. That I did not do. And
I'm
I didn't
just
do.
I'm joking.
I'm being
joking.
honest.
I'm
There
joking.
was rumors in
Did
the
you fast back then?
No.
At all? Oh, okay.
I don't, maybe I did. I don't know. But
Yeah.
there was rumors in my family and stuff that like I had an eating disorder, that I was bulimic, and trigger warning you guys for eating disorders, but I wasn't. I was not, in terms of that, I didn't have a diagnosed eating disorder. I probably had a little body dysmorphia and some disordered habits around my body and things like that. But I didn't do anything other than the metabolife. That's it. That's all I did.
Interesting.
Yep. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to go enjoy my donuts and couch rod. I'll be honest.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to go chill, be bums the rest of the day.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next
See ya.
one.